This is Richard from Klauner for our next installment for our COVID-19 interview series. I'm sitting here today with my good friend Gérard from Bonaria Frères. But before we get into the meat of things, I really want to say hi to the restaurant and bar owners of Luxembourg, because today is actually the second day that we are legally allowed to sit outside after work and enjoy our well-deserved after-work drink. Cheers.
Prost.
So, as you all know, COVID-19 had very different effects on the Luxembourgish economy. We here at Klauner were in the privileged situation that we didn't have to close down fully. We were able to operate at 50% of capacity because lots of our truck and trailer friends and partners still had to, well, work in the Luxembourgish economy and transport things like drinks, food, medicine, and really vital stuff that you all guys needed while you were in lockdown. My friend Gérard Thein here is from a construction company called Bonaria Frères, and he was in the unfortunate situation that all of the construction sector in Luxembourg was closed for good. So it's really going to be interesting to find out how this sector coped with the new challenges that COVID-19 posed, and I think we should give him the word. But before we get into it, maybe he can talk about Bonaria Frères a little bit and give us a little bit of more information about what the company is.
Thank you, Richard. My name is Gérard Thein, General Director from Bonaria Frères, from Ash. So we are a family enterprise in construction, 100 years already of knowledge and construction work in Luxembourg, an Italian company coming 100 years ago. We are 150 workers. What does it mean, 150 workers? So we are in fact based 90 workers in road work. What is road work? Road work is in fact working more in public sectors. So for Frres, Südgas, the communities. So in fact everything where you need IT, water, gas. Yes, and then in fact we have other 30 workers who are working in the construction and outside work of your houses, so it's more private. And there in fact we are from small stuff, just like just the way to your house, until small residences, what we're doing. And then one special thing what we also have, that is in fact service d'urgence. So they're in fact also now during the confinement, they called us to work for the Centre de Soins Avancés at the Rockhal. So in 24 hours we build that up, and normally we work for when there are urgencies for Creos, for the gas pipelines, for the water, for IT, post. So we are immediately there. After 1 hour they calling us. We come there, we dig, and then they can put in fact the stuff again in place. And then beside that we have 80 machines. So in fact 80 trucks, 20 bigger trucks and 60 smaller trucks, and we have caterpillars. So in fact 25 from 15 smaller ones and 10 big machines, just to solve our work every day.
Cool. That seems like a lot of trucks.
It is a lot of machinery, and that's why we need you.
But how many trailers do you have?
The trailer, max trailer, in fact we have 2 big max trailers.
Only 2, okay.
That is the trailers, but the truck stuff, in fact, so we have 20 trucks where we need in fact all your small stuff, everyday work. So if you're working a lot, you have also a lot of truck injuries, in fact.
Right.
And we need replacement every week, every day. And
you talked about big machinery, but it also seems like when you're describing your company, that your company is a big machinery. How did you cope with stopping that machine? Because I imagine it like a big boat, you can't just switch off the engine and then it will stop. I guess it took some time before you could stop all the construction work that was going on when the government said that you had to close down.
So in fact, I'm also at in the committee from the in fact enterprise directors in construction at the Fédération des Artisans, and there in fact you already hear some rumors coming, and then immediately when it came on Wednesday the 16th from March from our Prime Minister, that we had to close during 3 days, in fact, our construction site. So it was immediately like before Congé Collectif in summer. We needed immediately just to, in fact, but the problem was, it's not, we cannot just in construction work, we cannot just leave our place, because we have big holes where we have, in fact, our caterpillars, they dig, in fact, the holes, and we need to secure, in fact, all these places. So in fact we needed 2 days to put in fact the dirt in it, just to have it clean and then to leave. So in fact we needed 2 days in fact to close everyone, and it was also during that week, so on Monday, like everyone in Luxembourg was feared about the completely shut down, and then on Wednesday already I had with all my workers, so in fact I have 120 people on site where I explained exactly what will happen, and also that the most important was, are we going to be paid? And that was with the 80% chômage partiel, that was immediately I could give an answer. That was really perfect from the government said. That was the most important concern of our workers. And then in fact, for us it was just, so like we have urgencies a lot, I say we can, we have many times we have just like special occasions. So here it was something special, but we didn't thought it would be for 1 month or like longer. I thought it would be for 1-2 weeks at first. So I thought, okay, there's something coming, and now we have to close, and then we will go again. But then, so for me myself, I think like for you too or for others, I said the first 2 weeks they were really heavy, just to become everything.
To get used to the new circumstances. Because I find it interesting how your guys, they were very interested or very eager to know whether they were going to be paid, because obviously you had to shut down completely. When I arrived, well, different. When the government set or laid out their plans, I had immediately 5 people on the phone saying, are we going to open tomorrow? Are we going to open tomorrow? Because for us, it wasn't really clearly stated whether we were systemic enough to remain open, right?
Yeah, because you didn't knew also on, are we now, in fact, a part of the construction, or are we out of the construction? What means is the construction? Because what he said, in fact, the government was, now the construction sector. What means the construction?
Yeah.
Everyone could be or could not be in the construction sector. That was a little bit.
It was the same for us, where it says only emergency repairs. What are emergency repairs? You know, is it the truck that brings the milk to Cactus or to the supermarkets, or is emergency somebody who wants to lawn to mow their lawn on Saturdays in the afternoon? You know, so you had to explain to everybody really why you were still open. And the number one concern of everybody coming after the government speech was their own security. So how are we going to cope with keeping distances? How are the drivers going to cope with delivering the actual parts and having actual people to sign the sheet of paper? That was way before we talked about masks and about disinfectants. So we had, well, also for us it was for the managers of the company, it was quite difficult to find the right tone and motivate the people and tell them that it was going to be fine. And there's reason you were here today, because we need to make sure that people like Provençal and Larmage and Feidat and Velta and Wallenborn and Luxe and Cargolux, that they still get the spare parts, because those are vital companies to get to keep Luxembourg on the road in a minimal stage.
But what we also, you said now, your logistics were still open, but during confinement, in fact, so we had just our atelier, so our garage open, just to work, in fact, on the trucks. But it was really difficult to get parts from everywhere. So also outside of the company, it was difficult. Just so, in fact, also only the 3 people we had working still on some stuff, they couldn't work at 100%. And then, in fact, the first 2 weeks for us, it was just like, for me, it was a state. Okay, there's a state of crisis, there's a state of emergency. Okay, let's see what's going to happen. And also I think for the people it was okay, just staying at home. For everyone it was just like, okay, it's a new situation for everyone. But from the third and especially the fourth week, everyone was just like, and we also have in construction, in fact, people who leave the house at 7 or at 6:30, and they come back at 5 o'clock, and in fact they have that their whole life. In fact, they're used to that, and they're also happy with that. They are happy to work, and here it was first 2 weeks at home with all the kids, everything is happy. But then from the third or the fourth week, it's gonna be hard. Also, as a father, if you are, so long time. So I say if you're on holidays, it's different. You're just outside. You can just stay in a bar, have a nice drink or somewhere. I say it's not the same thing. And also they want always to work. Also when our workers, because they are mainly from Portugal, in Luxembourg construction companies, they're mainly from Portugal. In fact, they want also to work when they are going to holidays. They even work there just to have some bigger gardens, bigger houses. So they are just like they like what they do, and they just try always to move on and to work and to. So it was difficult for people who are, in fact, handcrafters, who are manufacturers, just to be.
Psychologically, it was very difficult for them to accept
just to do nothing. That is just like it's not easy. It's difficult. Just if every day your energy you have, in fact, your energy, and you cannot get rid of it.
In that logic, the people that were working here for the last 2 months are exactly the same breed of people that Gérard just talked about. Those are the people that are accustomed to work, and they love to go to work. They love having a purpose, and those are the people that you can depend on in times of crisis. But also at the same time, that had the luxury, under inverted commas, not to have small kids to take care of. Those because who've been working here for us or with us now for the last 2 months. Well, people with kids that are 8 years and older, or people that that didn't have a right or a reason to really have to stay at home for a long time.
And what also is in fact, because in fact you too, so you have manufactural work. So in fact, when you do manufactural work, psychologically, you don't need to think about what you're doing. You just are. It's like sports. So you see a ball. Say you have a part to do. You have a concrete just situation what you have to do, and you're gonna do it. And after 8 hours, then you're thinking again about your life. And that is so you don't need 24 hours a day just to think about what am I, what will I be, and what will happen. Because their work is so hard and it's getting out energy. And there, when you have just to stay 24 hours, 1 month at home, just thinking about your life, you're also thinking about personal problems in your family and everywhere around. And that is, I think work is also just giving you.
It's a filter. Work is a big filter.
It's I say a medicament.
Drug.
It's a drug in one kind. So it's also positive. It's not always. I say work belongs to life. I say you have to live, but you also need to work to live, to live on.
I think it's mentally difficult for most of the employees and employers in the whole of Europe. I mean, for the people that have to stay at home and look after the kids, it's mentally difficult because, as Gérard said, in the first 2-3 weeks it might be enjoyable to spend some time with the kids, but then after the fifth and the fourth and the sixth and the seventh week, you have to also be on your toes and be able to entertain the kids as the best as you can, while thinking that maybe you're disappointing somebody at work, or maybe you're letting work slide because you're so much used to having a purpose professionally. Because I also strongly agree with what Gérard said, that there's always should be a balance between, okay, who am I at home, but I also like the professional purpose of going to work and do my 40-hour week, or a bit more or a bit less, depending on what the contract says. So I think it's going to be tough when people come back mentally to be going back to the rhythm that they had before, because they're bringing. There's a risk that people are going to bring a mental baggage from home to work, because they were so out of they were so out of their routine that it will take some time to get into it. And well, that's one of the many problems that the economy will have to go back to 100%, which I think will still last way into the
another thing that was this, because I say my work in construction companies, in fact you have not the low paid, but they're just like the level is not the highest paid, so it is really the low level paid workers. So they live also in smaller buildings, in smaller flats, and we had some single living men also just who are hiring just a 25-30 square meter flat and just staying home at 30 square meters for months and just having your family back in Portugal. So it's also about loneliness, and they were calling us, in fact, can we just do something, can we just come? And we also had 2-3 people, because they knew that the garage is open and we're just manufacturing on our trucks. They just come, they walk by, they were just talking just to have someone they know. So in fact we are, as a company, we also a part of their family. And that is what we are living. So also when they have problems they come to me, also personal problems they come to me, and we're trying to help them just to solve them. Yeah. So it's really, we have also a social responsibility, in fact, for our people. I say if you are a family business, you care about your people, and that is so we have some who have a perfect life, but others who have also normal problems who everyone has, and even worse. So it's not easy. Yeah.
Okay. Well, today we're here in Steso, but Klauner, as you know, in the 80s was based in Beggen, and even back in Beggen we were working with Bonaria Frères, not with Gérard or with Richard, but I think it was with René, and what was your father's name?
Gilbert.
And Gilbert, you know. And we're very proud, and it's very cool to sit here in our now not so new anymore building and be able to talk about future projects and present projects.
Yeah, so in fact it is from our 80s where we were born that we are working together. And I think also, so I'm happy that I built you a new entrance here of the Klauner side, and we have another cool connection. That is, we are supporting also Paul Kramer for the swim of the Catalina channel.
Go Paul!
Go Paul! She's just
training. Her training ground is just a few kilometers away.
No, it's in Pepinch. It's nearer at my section.
Oh yeah, she lives right.
She's living here. She's living near Stesel, but she's doing it in a 25 meters.
No, that swimming pool is in Pepinch.
In Pepinch.
Oh, I thought it was also here.
It's in Pepinch.
Oh, I see. So he's not sponsor number one. That's why he's better informed than me.
No, that is. I think that's also a good. I say you are sponsoring some people where you believe in, and I'm the same thing. I'm also more sponsoring in the cultural and sportive region of Ash.
Yeah, exactly.
And that is
that's what we do also here.
Beside our work, I say it's good also to put some, I say, of our gain where we have in the social life of what we have around, and just to support people where we believe in. And I think I could also give you a swim, and you can. I also have to run a little bit more, and we give us support too.
We'll be supportive swimmers, you know. We'll go work out. Well said. Thank you.
Yeah.